Hello guys, welcome to this series on HTML, and we all know about the COVID-19 pandemic situation. This situation is very annoying or boring for you, we all know that. So that is why Impact Academy presents a series on HTML. This course is absolutely free for you guys, but if you want to earn a certificate, then you have to pay and you have to do a project after this course. So this is our very first day, day 1, and today we are going to learn HTML history and basics, and then different tags of HTML part 1. So let's start our learning. So the first question that comes in our mind, that why do we need HTML? So suppose you have a content. Now you want to upload that content into a server or a network or an internet. If you upload it, the network or server cannot identify the style or labels of your content. To define that, you need some programming language which can label your content elements in network or server. That programming language is known as markup language. And HTML is also a markup language. So this is the fact, that is why HTML is needed, and what you have seen in the web page or in Google Chrome or in any browser, that all web pages are designed by HTML. Now let's check a brief history of HTML. In the field of computer text processing, 1967 is considered as an important year. In the year 1967, first markup language GenCode became public, but then it was generally used by some specific companies. Later, popular markup languages like Text, GML, and SGML, these markup languages came. But the first internet and server-based markup language, HTML, was published in the year 1993. So this is the fact, the first internet and server-based markup language is HTML, that was published in the year 1993. Now here I give some basic informations related to HTML that you have to know, because when you are facing interview, then your HR can ask these questions or informations about HTML, or it is also informative for you for any coding competitions. So HTML basically stands for Hypertext Markup Language. HTML was developed by Tim Berners-Lee in the year 1989 and published in 1993. HTML supports cascading style sheets, that is CSS, and various scripting languages like JavaScript, PHP. HTML1 was published in the year 1993. HTML2 was published in the year 1995. HTML3 was published in the year January 1997. HTML4 was published in the year December 1997. HTML5 was published in the year 2014. And the latest version of HTML that we are using here is 5.2, means HTML 5.2. So these are all versions of HTML. So there is also another famous markup language which is used in web page, that is XHTML. So what is this XHTML? So XHTML stands for Extensible Hypertext Markup Language. And this XHTML is nothing but a combination of XML and HTML. So that is XHTML. So these all are some informations related to HTML. Now let's move on to some text editors related to HTML where you can code your HTML. So you have Notepad in your PC or laptop or desktop. So Notepad is also eligible for run HTML codes in your Google Chrome browser or your Firefox or Opera browser. And there is also another popular text editor, that is Sublime Text. So here in this tutorial we are going to use Sublime Text because Sublime Text has a good interface. And there are also some other editors like Notepad++, Atom, UltraEdit, BBEdit, Text Wrangler, TextMint, Brackets, etc. So you can use according to your choice. Now, just open your Google Chrome browser, or you can open any browser and just type here in the search bar Sublime Text Editor and search, and here is the first result, and here is the download option available, so you have to click on it, and here is the latest version, and you have to download according to your operating system. So I have Windows operating system, Windows 10, and it is already installed in my operating system. So it is the important part of HTML, and you have to understand it properly. Otherwise, you can face some difficulties when you are going for coding. So I think you can understand it properly because it's an easy part. So there are basic three building blocks of HTML. The first is tags. Now, what is a tag? A HTML tag is something which can label a specific part of your content or element in a unique way. So suppose you have a content and you want to format or you want to change the style of a part within your content. So how you can change that using HTML? You have to use a tag, and there are so many different tags in HTML, and there are different tags in HTML used for different purpose. So a HTML tag is written between angular brackets. When you start a tag, then you have to end that tag. So it is very important, when you start a tag, then you have to end it. Otherwise, there is an error or there is a problem in runtime. A start tag is written between the angular brackets. You have to write the tag name, and end tag is written between the angular brackets, but it is succeeded by a slash. In runtime, when a start tag does not find its end tag, then that tag is generally skipped. So suppose you write a HTML code and you give there a start tag, but suppose you forgot to give the end tag. So what happens that in runtime, the start tag doesn't find its end tag, and generally that tag is skipped, and the control goes for next tag. So that is the problem. You have to remind it. Now there is another basic building block, that is attributes. Now what is an attribute? An attribute is an extra information about the tag and the content between the tag. So attribute is nothing but an extra information that you provided within the tag to format or style your content. So every attribute has an attribute value. Attribute is always written with start tag. Syntax to write attribute is something like this. So suppose you are writing a start tag, and after the name of the start tag, you have to write the attribute name, and you have to set the attribute value, and then you have to give the end tag, and that is all. So that is how you can write an attribute to format your content or style your content. So these two are basic building blocks, tags and attributes. Now come to another last building block, that is element. Now what is an element? So element is the unit of HTML code. Element consists of content which you can write in between start and end tag. According to your tag, attribute and attribute value, your content is going to be styled. So this whole structure is actually known as an element. So here I just give an example. So here is a start tag, and within that there is attribute name and there is an attribute value. And in between the start tag and end tag, there is a content. So this one whole structure, so this one whole unit structure is considered as an element. And in your HTML code, there are several elements. So these three are the basic building blocks, that is tags, attributes, and elements. So you have to understand it properly. Now, there are generally two types of tags. So one is known as logical tag and another is known as physical tag. So what is logical tag? These logical tags are designed to enclose the text's meaning to the browser. So this logical tag is actually associated with the browser, that the action performed by the logical tag is actually affect the browser. So you cannot see the change that what logical tag does, but its action is associated with the browser. Now, what is physical tag? So from the name, I think you can understand that these tags are designed to specify exactly how text is formatted. So when you are using a physical tag, then you can see the action of physical tag, that how is your text is going to be formatted. So you can see the change. So that is the physical tag, and that is the logical tag, which is associated with the browser. So these are the two types of tags in HTML. And there are also two types of attributes. The one is global attributes and another is event attributes. Now, what's the global attributes? So these are attributes common to all HTML elements. So the set of attributes that is common to all HTML elements or common to all HTML tags, they can be used on all elements. So though they may have no effect on some elements, but these are the set of attributes which can be used with the all HTML tags. So that is why these attributes are known as global attributes. On the other hand, there are event attributes. So when you're talking about event attributes, then you have to know the meaning of this term event. So what's an event? So when a browser reacts on a user action, then it is called as an event. So suppose you are right in the search bar of Google that HTML and you press enter. So then what is happening? So there are so many results Google showing you about HTML. So that is an event. So when a browser reacts on user action, then it's called as an event. Now there are lots of event attributes available which can be activated using a programming language such as JavaScript. So the attributes which are associated with the event or with an event is known as an event attribute. And these event attributes can be activated using a programming language such as JavaScript or PHP. So these are some basic things. So we already covered our basics of HTML, and now we have to do codes in HTML. So here I am going to start the use of different tags part 1. Okay, so that's why I'm opening the Sublime text editor. So here I have a blank file. So first I have to save this file in .html extension with any name. So just go to file and then save. Suppose I am giving my file name sample .html, because here .html is the extension, and just save as type all files. Now this file is saved. Now you have to remind it that whatever code you are writing in HTML, you have to write that code inside the HTML tag. Otherwise, your code doesn't work. So that is why I am writing HTML tag. But here you can see that as a reference, Sublime Text is showing me the HTML tag. So that is why I'm not going to write the whole tag HTML then close angular bracket. I am just click enter. Okay, so this is important. This template, this HTML basic template, you have to use in every HTML coding or in every HTML codes. So this first line, not doc type HTML, actually what does it mean? This first line actually means the document type of HTML. That is the code, whatever you are writing for your web page, that is a document type HTML. Okay, so here I'm just writing a comment in HTML. So it describes the document type HTML. Okay, so it is the meaning of the first line, and I'm already telling you that this HTML tag is used because whatever code you're writing, you have to write in between HTML tag. So write your code inside, write your code inside HTML tag. Okay, now what is this head tag? What is the purpose of the head tag? This head tag is used to define the header of a web page. It is used to define the header of a web page. Okay, so that is the purpose. And what is this title tag inside the head tag? So in the header of the web page, what you can see a logo, a small logo, or rather that is known as favicon, and you can show and you can see a title. So that is the title of the website. So it is used to give title of your web page. Okay, so that is the purpose of the title tag. So it is the header part, and the most important part in your HTML coding is the body tag. So in between body tag, whatever code you are going to write, that code is showing as a content in your web page. So be careful, you have to write the code very carefully in between body tag. Okay, so what is this body tag? It describes the body or content of a website. So this is the action or purpose of the body tag. Okay, so this is the basic that you have to know about HTML. Okay, so now here is an example of HTML code snippet. So here I use HTML between title tag, and here I use another tag that is H1, and in between H1 I am written that this is my heading. So actually what is the purpose of this H1 tag? So it is used to give heading. Okay, so that is why h1 tag is used. Now just save this code and run this code. Okay, so I'm just save this code. And now I am going to run this code. So I'm going to run this code. So now you can see that this is my heading. So here is the heading that I have written in between h1 tag. Okay, so that is showing, and show here HTML. So this is the title of the website. Okay, that is showing here. So this is the action of this HTML code snippet. Now if you want, then you can vary different heading size. That is, if you use h1 tag, then your heading size is big, and if you use h2 tag, then your heading size is less than the h1 tag, and if you use h3, h4, h5, h6, then your heading size continuously decreases. So here I have written this is my heading, this is my heading, but here I use h1, h2, that is up to h6 tag I've used here. Now just save this code, just save this code, and once run this code, what happens? Let's see. Now see the change. So whatever I am writing in between h1 tag, so the size of that heading is bigger than others. This is my heading, and whatever I'm writing in h2 tag, this is my heading. So you can see that from h1 to h6, the size of the heading is continuously decreases. So that is the purpose of the tags h1 to h6. It can generate different sizes of header. Sorry, different sizes of headings. Okay. So these are the different header tags. And now here we can see that these are some tags related to formatting of your text. So here are so many tags. So first, I'm just commenting other tags. I'm just commenting other tags. Okay. So here you can see that this first tag, okay, that I have selected here, that is P tag. So what is the purpose of this P tag? Actually, P stands for paragraph. So if you want to write a paragraph, then you can write your paragraph in between P tag. Okay. So in between P tag, I am writing that this is a bold text. Now I want that this some portion of my paragraph, I want to bold it. So now how you can bold it? So you have to use B tag. So if you use B tag, then in between B tag, whatever the text becomes the bold. Okay, whatever the text, that becomes bold. Okay, so let's see what happens here. We just cancel this, just cut these quotes, and just see what is the change. when we just use this code. Okay, so this is the formatting. So can you see the change? So this is a bold text. So this is a paragraph, and you can see that our text is bold. So that is the use of B tag. Okay, so you can bold your text anywhere. Just you have to write the text in between the B tag. Okay, so now how you can italicized your text. So for that you have to use the I tag. To italic a text, you can use this tag inside any tag. Okay, so here I use I tag to italicize the text. I just save it. Okay, so now see the change. This is an italic text. Okay, so you can see that this text becomes italic. Okay, so this is the action or purpose. This is the purpose of the I tag. Now there are so many tags. Let's see one by one. Now there is U tag. So this U tag is used to underline a text. Okay, so now just save this file and see what's the change. Okay, so I just saved it. Now let's see what's the change. So this is an underlined text. You can see the change. So when we use U tag, so whatever the text in between U tag is going to be changed in an underlined text. Okay, now suppose we use this tag strike. Okay, so what is the purpose of this strike tag? So this strike tag is nothing but basically strike through your text. Okay, let's see. Save it. And just reload the page. So okay, so now you can see the change that this is the text and it is strike through. Okay, it's a strike through text. Now see the next tag, that is sup tag or sup tag. So what is the purpose of this tag? That suppose you want to superscript something, okay, then you have to write the text inside the sup tag or sup tag. So basically sup stands for superscript. So here suppose I want to write a square. So how I can write that? So I just write a, and in between sup tag I just write 2. So now just see the change. So I just reload the page again. So you can see that here is the a square. So this 2 is actually superscripted. Okay, so it is the action of sup tag. Now like that you can subscript any text. So for that you have to use sub tag. Okay, so whatever the text in between sub tag, that is going to be subscripted. So suppose I want to write O2, that is oxygen. The symbol of oxygen is O2, we all know that. So suppose I want to write O2. So can you see the change? Whatever the text where we have written inside the SUB tag or sub tag, that is subscripted. So it is the purpose. Okay, now let's see another tag, that is mark. Okay. Now, when you read a book, means when you read a school book, so in those school days, we used highlighter, okay? Highlighter to highlight some text. But in web page, how you can highlight a text? So to highlight that, you have a tag that is mark tag, okay? So by mark tag, you can highlight a text. So just reload the page again. Okay, so you can see the change. So this is important. I write this inside the mark tag, and what mark tag is doing, that it just highlight the text. This is important. Okay, so it is the purpose of the mark tag. Okay, now this is also another important tag, but it's rare tag, that is TT. So what is actually the purpose of this TT tag? So this TT tag is basically used to write in monospaced font. Okay, now you can ask that what is monospaced font? So basically monospaced font is that when you write a language, then the letters of the language are come in variable widths. Okay, but suppose you're writing a language and the letters of that language comes in the same width. Okay, the letters of that language comes in the same width. That means, suppose, what is the width of the letter I? That is the width of the letter W. Okay, so like that, all the letters of that language will appear in the same width. Okay, so that is known as monospaced font. So if you want to write any text in monospaced font, then you have to use the TT tag. Whatever the content you're writing inside TT tag, that is going to be converted into monospaced font. So just save this code. So you can see that it's a monospaced font. All the letters have same width. Okay, so you can see that. Now there are also another tags. Wait just a minute. Okay, now there is another tag that is big. Now why this big tag is needed? Now suppose you write a paragraph or a sentence or some number of lines in same size. Okay, now you want that the some portion of that text you need to convert into a big font size. Okay, so now how you can do that? So basically to do that, you can use big tag. Okay, so this is a big font. I just write it in this code. So here in between big tag, here is the text big font. So now let's check the change. Let's check the change. So you can see the change. this is a big font. Okay, so this is a, so it has the same size and big font, it will appear in a big size. So that is why the big font is, sorry, so that is why the big tag is used in HTML. Now, like big tag, there is also a small tag. So what is the purpose of this small tag? So small tag also works like big tag. Okay, let me reload the page, then you can see the difference. Okay, so this is a small font. So you can see that this is a, so it has a same font size, but this small font, this text, this text have a small size in comparison with the this text. This is a, okay, so you can see the difference. So that is why big tag and small tag is used. Now there is another tag, that is BR tag. So actually this BR tag results in a line break. Suppose you want to give a line break between two sentences or between any text, then you can use BR tag. So here I can use BR tag, that Impact Academy, BR, then Destiny of Success. So actually when this code is executed, then there is a line break between Impact Academy and Destiny of Success. And remind this, that this BR tag has no start tag or end tag. Okay, so it is only one tag which has no start tag or end tag. Now let's see, so save this. Just reload this. Okay, so now you can see that here is Impact Academy and there is a line break, then Destiny of Success. So that is how the BR tag results in line break. Now this tag is very important for you. This tag is a tag. Okay, so a tag is used widely in HTML because a tag is used to hyperlink any text. Okay, now here is an attribute in a tag, that is href. Okay, so this attribute you can see also in some another tags, but it is generally used within the a tag. Okay, so this href attribute has an attribute value, that is the URL which you will going to hyperlink with the text. That URL is actually considered as the value of href attribute. Okay, so here what I am doing, that here I just hyperlink this text Impact Academy official website. And what is the official website? Yes, that URL I am given inside the attribute value. Okay, now just check what happens when we execute this code. So just refresh it. Okay, so you can see that here is Impact Academy official website, and you can understand that this text is already hyperlinked. So if I click on this text, then see what happens. Yes, so it is our official website. Okay, so when you click on this hyperlink text, then it will redirect you to that URL that you have set as an attribute value. Okay, so you have to remind it. Okay, so there is another tag for formatting, that is center tag. Okay, so the center tag is also important tag, because when you want to center align some text, then you have to use this center tag. Okay, let's see that what happens if we use this center tag. Yes, you can see the change. Here is the center align text. Okay, so this is my content, and you can see that here we use center tag. That is why this text or this content is center aligned. Okay, so these are some popular tags which are used widely in HTML coding for formatting. Okay, now let's move to the another tags, that is phrase tags. Okay, now what is phrase tags? Okay, the HTML phrase tags are special purpose tags which defines the structural meaning of a block of text or semantics of text. Okay, so the tags which defines the structural meaning of a block of text or semantics of text, that is known as the HTML phrase tags. Okay, so there are so many HTML phrase tags. Now let's see one by one. Okay, so first there is a tag that is ABBR, and this ABBR actually stands for abbreviation. Okay, in short form the tag is ABBR, and with this ABBR tag there is an attribute, that is title. Okay, and what is the attribute value? The attribute value of this title attribute is nothing but the full form of your abbreviation. Okay, the full form of your abbreviation is acts as an attribute value of this title attribute. Okay, now here I write HTML, and what is the full form of HTML? That is hypertext markup language. Now let's see if we execute this code, then what happens. Just wait. Sorry, just wait. Okay, so you can see that it is HTML and there is dotted underline. Okay, so this dotted underline means your text is actually abbreviated. Okay, so if you just move the cursor and just left it there, then you can see the abbreviation, the full form of the abbreviation, that is hypertext markup language. Okay, so that is how the ABBR tag works. Okay, so now there's some another tag. Just wait 1 minute. Okay, so here is another tag, that is EM tag. Okay, now what is this EM tag? Actually here EM stands for emphasize. Okay, so when you want to emphasize a text, then you have to write that text inside the EM tag. So here I emphasize the text God. Okay, now let's save this code and execute it. So we emphasized the God. So you can see the the text or content that was emphasized, that is actually italicized here. Okay, the emphasized text is actually converted into italic text. Okay, so that is how the em tag works. Now there is another tag, that is block quote. Okay, this is also a very important tag, block quote. And with the block quote tag, there is also another tag used, that is site tag. Okay, now what is the purpose of this block quote and site tag? So block quote means actually when you need to give some quotations, then you can use this block quote tag. Okay, and if you want to give the citation, then you can use the cite tag. Okay, so actually when you just use these tags, then the styles or formatting of the text is changed. Okay, now here I just quoted the destiny of success. Okay, so I write this content inside block quote tag, and impact academy I write this content inside site tag. Now let's see what happens when we execute it. So you can see that destiny of success, impact academy. So you can see that here how the citation is formatted and how the quotation is formatted. Okay, so it looks better. So that is why we can use this block quote tag and cite tag. Okay, so there is now another tag, that is q tag. Okay, so this q tag is also used for short quotations. Okay, so if you want to give some short quotations, then you can use this q tag. But you can tell that this q tag is also similar to the block quote tag. Okay, so but just execute it and check it that how it works. Okay, so you can see that impact academy, destiny of success. So you can see that the text or the content which we write inside the q tag, you can see that how that content or text is formatted. Okay, so it looks better, it's a good looking, so that is why we are using these tags. Okay, so this is an important tag. And now there is another tag, that is code. Okay, so code. So why we need this tag? Okay, why we need this tag? This tag is basically needed because when you want to include some programming language code inside your text, so how you can differentiate that from an ordinary text? Okay, so basically you have to change the format of that code text, because you have to differentiate that from the ordinary text. So this code tag actually this code tag is doing the change the format of the programming language code. Okay, or whatever you are writing inside the code tag. Okay, let's see. Okay, so you can see the change, that write a basic C program, and then here I write #h. So that's actually a hello world program. So you can see that how the format of the text which is written inside the code tag is actually changed. Okay, so it looks better, it looks nice. So you can use code tag to add some programming language code. So these are some phrase tags. Okay, so today we covered HTML history and basics and different HTML tags part 1. So if you have any doubt or any questions, then you can post your questions and doubts in the comment section. And don't forget to fill up the feedback form given in the description of the video. Okay? As soon as possible, we will try to reply your comment. Okay? So guys, see you again in the day 2. Goodbye. Stay safe. Stay home.